Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm excited to do. I'm going to be talking about beauty products that I no longer buy. So I have seen my friends Jessica Braun and Kelly Gooch do this video. I will link theirs down below. And just today as I was sitting down to film this, I saw my friend Andrea also posted this video. So I am going to link hers down below also. So I thought this was a really great idea because definitely over the years, from even before I started a YouTube channel to the beginnings of my YouTube channel till now, there are definitely some products that I used to buy or buy on a lot more of a frequent basis that I just don't as much anymore, and I thought it would be an interesting topic. I really enjoyed the other videos that I've seen, so I thought it would be fun if I could sit down and film that also. Before we jump into it, I want to say that I did film this eye look and it is on my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word. I used the new, it's right next to me, the new Mel Thompson and Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels eyeshadow palette. This palette is so beautiful. I have a video trying new makeup and it includes the Tiny Marvels palette, but I really wanted to do another look with it also and get it on my Instagram, so that is running over there if you want to check it out. But why don't we go ahead and get started. All right, so definitely one of the first products that came to mind when I was thinking about making this video was bigger eyeshadow palettes. So back in the day, I used to love purchasing just larger eyeshadow palettes. I kind of think of like Morphe off the top of my head, the Morphe 35 palettes, but even before that, the BH Cosmetics, I don't even know how many how many shadows they had in some of those palettes. I mean, these were like big, monstrous eyeshadow palettes that I was buying. I think I had one from Coastal Scents also. I mean, I had some really large palettes in my collection, and slowly over time, not only am I not purchasing these as much anymore, but I'm also decluttering more of them out of my collection. I have found our preferences can always change here and there. I think I did a video around this time last year with the title of like, I've changed my makeup preferences. So, you know, that definitely does happen. But also I've just started to realize what's more of my style and what I continually reach for. I typically like smaller eyeshadow palettes. I like them to be smaller in size. I don't even mind them to be smaller in the number of shades that I get. I'm a huge fan of minis. If you know me, I love mini makeup products. And yeah, so definitely like really big, larger eyeshadow palettes. I do not buy those as much anymore. Another thing that I had on my list that was real quick that popped in there was makeup wipes. I can't remember the last time that I purchased makeup wipes for myself. I mentioned this in a past video. I think it was my Will I Buy It. I post a new makeup releases video every single Wednesday talking over new makeup, and I believe I think I was talking about the makeup wipes from Patrick Starr's new brand, One Size, that's available at Sephora. And one of the first products that came out was these makeup wipes, and I said, you know, would love to support the brand, but I don't purchase makeup wipes. And I said in there, I was trying to think, when was the last time that I purchased them? I said that I thought it was back when I would purchase the blue Neutrogena makeup wipes, and that has been years and years ago. You know, I loved makeup wipes for such a long time. It's so funny because as I sit down to film this, I just finished filming my back to school giveaway. That would have went up on Sunday. I do an annual back to school giveaway every single year, annual, on my YouTube channel. It's one of my favorite things to shop for, one of my favorite giveaways that I run just ever. I have such a good time doing it. And what's funny is that they were the Neutrogena makeup wipes that I would purchase for the giveaways. And I would say, because my giveaways, I do school supplies, I do beauty products, I do stuff for around the house and office, but I also have a little bit of a focus on like college living and dorm life, because, you know, even though it was a while ago for me, I still remember buying products to move into my apartment on my college campus and how exciting it was. And one thing that I would always recommend, and I would even bring makeup wipes with me, because I would always tell my friends, my grandmother taught me this from a very young age, never sleep in your makeup, always take your makeup off. So in case we have those nights in college where maybe we weren't sure if we were gonna make it back to campus that night, I don't know why, I would truly bring makeup wipes. I'd pass them out to my friends and be like, okay, now we all have to take our makeup off. And it was just, that was my thing. So I would include that in the giveaway. And this, I think this was the first year. Maybe last year I didn't, but definitely this year there are no makeup wipes in there. So yeah, I just don't use them as much anymore. You know, definitely trying to think a little bit more about the environment and just the little things that I can do and the little ways that I can tweak my purchases. That's gonna be better for the environment. Sometimes it gets really overwhelming because I know I used to think it myself too, like, I'm just one person. This is such a small thing that I'm doing. Like, how is it really gonna make a difference? But if you really stop and think about all the little things that you can do throughout a day, a week, a month, and how it can impact the environment or whatever else it is that you are wanting to be focusing on, it really can add up. So yes, makeup wipes, I definitely don't use as much anymore. And when it comes to skincare, you know, I've changed with my skincare too. I do a lot of double cleansing for the past couple of years now. I've learned to double cleanse. I've learned about, you know, oil-based makeup removers and cleansing balms instead of using makeup wipes, and I much prefer that over makeup wipes. The next item that I want to talk about is more of like a category in general, but that is makeup backup. So I used to be, I don't know why I would want to, but I would buy certain products that I hadn't yet run out of because I wanted them as a backup. And I had that mindset for such a long time. I actually have at least one, if not maybe two YouTube videos out there talking about like what's in my makeup backup drawer. And now I'm kind of like, why did I feel the need to have so many backups? When I run out of a product, I can still go buy it at that time. I mean, some of the products, you know, like brow pencils, sometimes it's not a bad thing to have a backup brow pencil, because when you're out of a brow pencil, if you don't have any other ones, it's like, oh shoot. Or if you're going from something that's like thicker to a little bit of like a more precise pencil, sometimes you can't get them to match. If you run out in the middle of one eyebrow, okay, that can be a whole thing. But I would just have so many backups of products that didn't make sense for me to have backups of. It would just accumulate my makeup collection even more. I do declutters on a really regular basis. I love doing my declutter series, but one thing that I really am trying to do is to keep my makeup collection a little bit in check. Obviously, I'm a makeup lover. It's the reason why I have a YouTube channel, of course. This is a part of my job. I get makeup and I receive it. I try to review it. I try to show looks with it and all of that. But I also really try not to just keep things around just to keep them. I try not to buy things just to buy them. Sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming looking at everything, and you know, I can use that money to purchase other things too, which is always great. But I used to be like a fanatic about having backups, and I have let that go. I have let it go. All right, definitely another category that I thought of was sheet masks. Sheet masks, I had deep love for sheet masks, and I want to say, like, I still enjoy them. I really do, but again, kind of going back to the makeup wipes and just trying really hard not to use these single-use products as much, and I definitely would feel that with sheet masks. I know some companies now are putting out ones that are biodegradable and different things like that, but I really have gotten away from sheet masks for a while. It would be something that I would do every single week without fail. I had a whole stack of sheet masks always at the bottom drawer of one of my like acrylic organizers that I have. The whole drawer was full of sheet masks, and I would just go through and I would pick the one that I would want. When I would do my empties videos, you would see sheet masks galore in there because I would go through them so much and I'd want to tell you about them and what I think and what I would recommend. And yeah, that's definitely a product that I've been trying to get away from also. And again, just kind of, I feel like maybe upping my skincare game and finding just different styles of masks or treatments, or even like chemical exfoliants or different things like that that can help me versus doing a sheet mask. Another product that I wanted to mention is subscription boxes. I used to love subscription boxes. I would get Birchbox. I want to say it was a monthly subscription. And this was way back in the day. This was when I lived with my husband in our condo, and we have since lived in 2 other houses since then. And I would always get so excited. And this is absolutely nothing against subscription boxes, because I know so many people get them and love them. I know a lot of my friends, like in real life, get subscription boxes, and that's how they replenish their makeup or their tools, like their brushes or their sponges, or even like skincare products. That's how they get them, because they're not makeup fanatics like me. They don't love going to Sephora and spending an hour there looking at all of the different displays when we could do that pre-COVID and everything. But so I know a lot of people still really do get good use out of them because of that, and maybe it does make sense for you to spend your money on that. But when there's been a couple times where I've thought maybe I should get a certain subscription box and maybe I should sign up for something, and then I look around and I see everything that I have. I'm like, okay, I just don't think that makes the most sense. And you know, I've thought of it too from the YouTuber point of view, like maybe I should just sign up for it because then I could do the unboxings, because people seem to really like the unboxings. It helps you make the decision on certain boxes if you want to sign up, if you want to get that month, skip that month, different things like that. But again, if I'm just getting the subscription service myself, then I'm probably not getting it any earlier in order to be able to help people make that decision. I hope that makes sense. But for me, it's just, I have so much, just to add more to it to get subscription boxes wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. The reason that I stopped getting Birch boxes back in the day before I had this YouTube channel. I had a different one for a second, but before I had this one, and I was getting the Birchbox, I got so overwhelmed by just the monthly one makeup box that was coming that I had to cancel it, because I was like, I can't, like, I'm not even going through everything and I'm just getting all of these more products, and I was getting overwhelmed. I didn't have places to put them. I did get the Ipsy boxes for a while also, and I had a lot of fun with those, but then again, I got to the point where I was like, I just don't know if this is making the most sense for me, so I ended up canceling that subscription also. But as of right now, I get a lot of questions about would I ever sign up for Ipsy or BoxyCharm, and you know, I'll never say never, but I just don't feel like it's necessary for me right now. Another one that I wanted to mention is brush sets, but this is a hard one for me. This is such a hard one for me, but I try to not purchase brush sets as much. I have a thing for brushes though. If you know me, like, you know, something about makeup brushes, I love them so much. I always want to buy them. I love makeup brushes. I feel like I don't have as much guilt buying makeup brushes because I use them so often, and they're like, I rotate through them so quickly, and then they get washed, and then I gotta use them, and then they get washed. It's like, it makes me not feel quite as guilty with, you know, maybe like eyeshadow palettes where I can't use them as much. So I do love my brushes, but I've been trying really hard not to purchase brush sets as much because I do have a lot of brushes, but also I have found through, you know, several years now of doing my makeup, I have found what brushes I like for what makeup, you know, application or technique that I'm doing. And sometimes when I look at a brush set that's becoming available, I'm like, ooh, those 4 brushes, I know right off the bat I'm not going to use those, so I would only be using the other 4 in the collection. It's like, okay, so does it make sense to purchase it? I will say though, this is one of my weaknesses. I know that there's been a few brush sets that I've purchased in the past, like little while here, but it's something that I'm actively trying to do better on to not purchase as much. Another one that I wanted to mention is nail polish. I used to buy a lot of nail polish. I used to do my own nails. Then I went through a phase for a while where I was actually getting acrylic tips put on my nails, but I would paint them myself. Like, I would truly just have them do the acrylic, like do a clear coat, and I would go home and paint my nails. I like to be able to change out my nail polish frequently, but I also really liked being able to paint my nails with products that were accessible, that I could link and I could tell people what the shade name was, versus getting my nails done in a salon where it's like, I don't know, it's powder or it's, you know, color L217, and it's like, that doesn't help anybody. So I was doing that for a while, but then I moved over to dip nails and I started getting my nails done again, and I was like, you know what, it's honestly just easier for me to put a color down. I found dip nails, which I love so much. This is a dip manicure right here. I don't have the tips on anymore, which is really nice, but I do the dip powder, which keeps your nails nice and strong also. But I was finding that, you know, I was already taking the time to go to a nail salon to get my nails done, but then I was going home and having to paint my nails and then clean up my nails and then wait till my nails dried, and it was like, why am I doing this? This is kind of silly. It's not helping me in the long run. It's not helping me save time. Like, I'm taking more time out doing this. I'm buying a ton of nail polishes. I had so many nail polishes. I remember when we moved, I tried to do a really good job of decluttering the polishes, getting rid of the ones that were almost gone, just passing some off to like friends and like, you know, like nieces and things like that. Like, okay, like, you guys take this nail polish because I don't need this much anymore. So nail polish is definitely one that I am not buying as much. Another item I'm not buying as much is false lashes. Yes, indeed. I used to be someone who would wear false lashes in every single look. Like, it was surprising when I didn't wear lashes in a YouTube video. And it wasn't just YouTube either. I have been a fanatic for false lashes since my high school days. I mean, I would wear false lashes to school. I would wear false lashes to like the football games. I mean, in college, I was always wearing false lashes at the party. Like, that's like, I would get jokes said about me because I was the only person usually wearing false lashes, and people would be like, oh, there's Samantha again with spiders on her eyes, and I was like, hey, it's me. But I loved it. So it was so fun for me when I started YouTube, and I would see so many people doing these like amazing looks and using their false lashes, and I was like, I wear false lashes too. Like, I just felt like I had found my people, because I was like, yay. But I do have to say that probably within the last year and a half to maybe 2 years, I've really cut back on the amount of false lashes that I wear. One thing, I usually just say that I'm busy. I know that might sound so silly, but I do a bunch of different things and I'm busy from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. I have a ton of things going on. I have a few days that I do film for YouTube, and usually I have one of those days where I can sit down and I can really create and have fun and everything. But a lot of times I'm trying to get ready in a hurry. I'm trying to do my hair. I'm trying to get dressed. I'm trying to get my setup ready, and it's a lot. So sometimes I'm just kind of rushed and I don't feel like I have time to. It can be a little bit meticulous to put false lashes on, and if you mess up, then your look can look really bad. I do also have to say that my eye sensitivity has seemed to go up. I notice a lot of lash adhesives and lash glues really bother my eyes, and when I take my lashes off at the end of the night, my eyes are puffy, and the next day when I wake up, my eyes are still puffy and almost a little bit swollen. I've been trying out different lash adhesives, trying to figure out what it is that's bothering me, but I have this happen with mascaras, I have this happen with eyeshadows, I have this happen with glitters. It's just, I have very sensitive eyes. I have for a long time, but I feel like it's, I want to say like getting worse, which sounds really bad, but I feel like I have like a heightened sensitivity now to my eyes. So I know a lot of people sometimes say like, oh, that look would be so fantastic with lashes, and I'm like,
yeah, but I'm trying to wake up tomorrow with my eyes swollen shut.
Like, that doesn't sound fun for me. Another one that is still a little bit hard for me, but I definitely feel like I'm doing a lot better than I was in the past, is face palettes. I, again, used to have such a deep love for face palettes. If you followed my channel maybe like 3-4 years ago, I had such a love for them. I've done like favorites videos on my face palettes, and after some time though, I started to realize that they didn't seem to be the best fit for me. And sometimes with face palettes, the problem can be is that I can't use all of the different shades in there, and so that would become a problem. And I was just using a few, and it was like, okay, so why don't I just purchase a single instead? Sometimes I can still get drawn into face palettes with like the packaging, or if there's a lot of different categories and they suit me. Like, I still really love my Smashbox Cali Contour because it has a bunch of different categories in there. So different things like that, if I can find like a good use, like I can really use a lot of products in this one palette, then like I'm more of a fan of that. But I've been really trying to cut down on the amount of face palettes that I've been purchasing. And again, just like with the same with my larger palettes, I feel like I'm also slowly decluttering them more out of my collection. I've really been trying not to buy just straight blush palettes or straight highlight palettes where it's like 4 highlighters in one. I don't go through highlights that much, so again, especially if they do have a range, I'm probably not going to be using all of them. Same with blushes. Like, I used to get the Tarte like big 8 blush book thing going on. I just can't use them that much. So it just, again, when I would look at my collection, I was like, I just don't feel like it makes sense to have these really big palettes in my collection if I'm not going to be using all of the different shades in there. So face palettes, like blush and highlight palettes and all, I'm not using them as much. This one might be a little bit strange, but as I've been thinking about doing this video, I know it's something that I think of when I'm making especially my online orders. You know, during the time of quarantine and we were purchasing everything online, if we were shopping, you know, we were shopping online versus in store, I stopped requesting free samples with my orders. At Sephora, you can usually put in 2 free samples. At Ulta, I think it was usually 1 or 2 free samples that you could get. And I stopped requesting those. I would find that I just didn't really use them. And so it just kind of seemed silly to me that it almost felt like every time I would check out, it was like, okay, make sure you go and pick out your free samples. Like, you absolutely have to get something because it's free. Like, why would you not? It's free. Like, you have to get this. And I will say, if there is something that I see and I'm curious about it and I've wanted to try it out and it would be a good thing for me to test, then I might throw it into my cart. But I really just don't go for them anymore. It just didn't seem to make sense to me. I wasn't using them, and it just became, once again, it just became wasteful in my collection. And I would feel really bad about that. When I was really good at keeping up with my Poshmark store and I was selling clothes and shoes on there, I would write a little note and I would include the free samples I was getting as like a, you know, thanks for making this purchase. I've done terrible at keeping up with my Poshmark store. It's just one thing that I don't have the time for to keep up with. And so it sounds so bad, but at one point I really had a big like just like a big like organizational bowl, it looked like, filled with free samples, and I would look at it and just be like, this is incredibly wasteful. If I'm not using them, it doesn't make sense to keep requesting them, even though it's free. Again, if something really pops out at me, maybe I'll grab it, but it just wasn't making sense for me to keep putting them into my orders. So yeah, I have actually stopped requesting free samples. And then I think just the last one that I have is buying brand new collections right away or buying full collections. And this goes along with being a YouTuber, and this goes along with putting myself into a lot of debt trying to maintain a successful YouTube channel, and thinking the way that I had to do that was by purchasing all of the new makeup releases and purchasing full collections. I definitely still have times where I think like, you know, maybe if I purchased a lot of these, or if I purchased this full set, or if I purchased this early, I could get good views and it would help because it would, you know, enable me to A, earn a paycheck, B, to be able to put, you know, money back into my channel, which will, you know, hopefully be great, and, you know, C, or 3, I can't remember what I was doing, but, you know, pay my bills. That's always a good thing too. You know, people always want to do that. But I really got myself into a lot of trouble trying to maintain that lifestyle here on YouTube. I have made full videos about it with my mindset and makeup series, and kind of what I was thinking and what got me out of that mindset, and how I really hit a rock bottom trying to buy all of this makeup, which again was not helping with sustaining I mean, it's not even a small makeup collection, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that, but something that is a little bit more manageable. And when I would talk to other YouTubers, when I started to make friends in the community and we would speak, I'd be like, I just don't know how you guys buy all of this makeup, like I can't keep up, like what's your secret? Is there like some YouTube secret that I haven't heard about? Like, will you let me know? Like,
let me in, is there a back door somewhere? What do I do?
And other YouTubers would say that they got themselves into a lot of trouble, they got themselves into credit card debt. I was like, oh no. And that's why I made that mindset and makeup series, because I thought, you know, I started YouTube and saw all of these videos that so many people were doing and thought that's what I needed to do, yet we were just all pretending. We were just all pretending that this was a good idea. And there's most certainly people who that is definitely okay for them to do and purchase those new collections, and those videos can be so helpful. They're helpful to me, you know, they're helpful to me to be able to see, is it something that's going to make sense for me to purchase? Should I spend my money on it? And I love those channels, but only if they're actually able to sustain doing that, and not everybody can, and I was not someone who could. So I really let that go. And again, I still struggle sometimes a new release is coming out, I'm like, I should purchase it right away, I should, you know, should set my alarm, I need to get the full thing, I need to buy everything, I need to buy all the lipsticks that are coming out. Just, I still do go back to that sometimes, but I've really tried to do a good job of letting that go and talking to other YouTubers, and also being open with it on my YouTube channel and seeing the feedback from other subscribers who don't, you know, people don't want to see people set themselves up for failure just for other people to know if they should buy an eyeshadow palette or not. And getting the support on those videos just genuinely helped me so much. I am climbing out of debt. My credit score is going up slowly but surely. The credit score is creeping up there.
Experience.
And I'm so thankful to have this community and to have friends and supporters that, you know, really do want to see people succeed. I'm just entirely grateful for that. So that was the final thing that I wanted to mention in this video, but I hope you enjoyed seeing some of these beauty products that I no longer purchase, or I try not to purchase as much. I hope you had fun with it. I would love to know, are there any beauty items that you have been noticing that you don't purchase as much? Maybe you don't have a draw to as much, you don't wear as much? Definitely leave me some comments. I would love to know. I will leave Jessica, Kelly, and Andrea's videos down below. I highly recommend you go check out all 3 of these ladies. I love them all. Other than that though, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.